We're here today with musician Willie Nile. We're talking about his latest album, The Great Yellow Light. Willie, how's it going today?
I'm doing good. Let me see. Where are you calling from?
Minnesota.
Okay. I love playing in, what's the room I play in Minneapolis? The Dakota? Is that what it?
The Dakota Jazz Club, I think. That's up there, yeah.
Yeah. I played there a few times with my band, yeah. I always dug it.
Well, I got to say, it's great speaking with you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Dustin. I thank you for taking the time to speak, buddy.
Well, first of all, you're back here with a new album, The Great Yellow Light. Can you tell the listeners a bit about the new album?
Well, the Great Yellow Light, it's been about almost 4 years since my last album, studio album. And the title of the album was inspired by letters from Vincent van Gogh to his brother Theo. When Van Gogh moved to the south of France in 1888, the light there really inspired him, and he referred to it as a great yellow light. I remember reading that and it inspired me, and then sometime later I wrote a song with that title. The song's not about Van Gogh, but it was, for me, the notion is about moments of awe and wonder, that we come upon, on our journeys. And it's an album of, it's a rock and roll record, but it's got various styles on it. Steve Earle, special guest on a song called Wake Up America. There's a song on the album called An Irish Goodbye, which is, if you don't know what an Irish goodbye is, it's when you leave an event without saying goodbye. It's not meant to be offensive in any way. You just kind of split without saying. I wrote it about the big Irish goodbye, mortality, but it's a big celebration. And it's the great Irish artist, Paul Brady, sings with me on it. So I've got two great guests. The Hooters sing on it, my core band, great band, and Waddy Wachtel's on it, David Mansfield, legendary guys. And it's a batch of songs that are upbeat, meant to be uplifting in this crazy world we're living in. It's a feel-good record, and I'm really thrilled with how it came out.
Excellent. Yeah, you've got a lot of cool people playing with you on this one. You mentioned Steve Earle. I saw the video for Wake Up America. He's definitely passionate when it comes to politics. He seems like a perfect choice for that song.
Well, Steve lived for 15 years, like 3 doors down from me. I'm in Greenwich Village, New York, and I've lived here on and off for years. And Steve, for 15 years, lived around the corner. We'd see each other. We became friends, neighbors. And when I was working on the song, The Great Wake Up America, I thought, who might be great on this is Steve. I sent it to him, and within 5 minutes, I got a note back. I'm in. Bless his heart. He brings his great. The song itself, Wake Up America, is it's a call out to our better angels. And I refuse to give in to the darkness. We can do better than this as far as getting along. All the division in the country is such a downer. It's dark. And Steve brings this beautiful, ragged, gritty, streetwise voice to it. And I'm honored to have him on it. He's become a good friend, and I respect him so much. He's like a Johnny Cash to me, Great songwriter.
And you mentioned it's been 4 years since your last studio album. It's been 45 years since your first album. I mean, does it seem like it's been that long for you?
I made it when I was a wee lad. I was 4 years old when I made my first album. It's like 45 years ago I made my first record. And I grew up in Buffalo, moved to New York with the idea of making records. I didn't come here to get famous. I don't care about being famous. Stinking rich, I'll have it. I'll take that, but I don't care about being famous. I just love making music. It picks me up. I've got a great band. And when we do shows, people have a good time. And, life is tough for everybody, whatever field you're in. And if music can pick you up. And so I'm having a ball still doing it. I mean, I'm very lucky that I'm able to still do it to the degree. I mean, I'm writing as good songs as I've ever, this is as good a record as I've ever put out, and I'm thrilled about that. So the inspiration's still coming to me.
Awesome. Yeah, you've had quite the career. And, early on there around that first album, you were already hanging out with Clive Davis and touring with The Who. I mean, you had quite the beginning to your music career there.
If you would have told me, Dustin, that I would have, before I came to New York, I just came hoping to make records and make a living. I wasn't thinking about fame or being an icon, any of that nonsense. And if you'd have told me that I would, after my first record, well, Clive Davis would have signed me to Arista Records, and based on a great review I got in New York Times magazine, New York Times, the paper, and that I would have toured across the U.S. with the Who, and that I would have, Springsteen sang with us many times. He's brought me on stage. I mean, 70,000 people at Giant Stadium, and Bruce invited me to come and sing one night, and it was so much fun. I can't tell you. I remember I'm on stage with Bruce, and the E Street Band is like raising hell. It was so great. Place is going crazy, and he invited me up for a song. And when I get off the stage, I'm standing next to him, and he's just bringing it with all his fire and passion. And I'm on stage next to him. I start pushing him, and I yell, "You rock!" Just having a good time, goofing off. And after the song was over, I left the stage, and they come running after me. "He wants you to come back on." He was telling the audience, "Get Willie back up here." So I went back up for another song or two, and you know how sometimes at the end of Bruce's shows, the whole band will go out to the front of the stage. Well, I ran out I'm thinking, well, I'm going too. So I ran out to the front of the stage with him. I'll never forget, there was this woman looking up at me going, "Who is that?" Because they didn't know who I was, and it was so much fun. So if you'd have told me that, and I got to tour with Ringo Starr, got to sing I Get By with a Little Help from My Friends on the last night of the tour, I would have thought you were high on crack, but those things happened, I've always just tried to do my best, write songs that are meaningful, that mean something to me and hopefully mean something to other people. And I've gotten paid back in so many different ways, the kind of things money can't buy. So if you'd have told me all that, you name it, I would have thought you were nuts. But yeah, I've been very lucky.
Yeah, it is incredible, the career you've had and you continue to have here. Obviously, the Great Yellow Light out, and I read there might be a documentary about your career in the works as well.
There's a fella from Vienna, Austria, reached out some years back, kept writing letters. "I want to make a documentary about Willie," and I just thought, I don't know who this guy is, Martin Scorsese's a fan. Now, if Martin Scorsese came up and wanted to make a movie, well, it's going to be good. I don't want somebody to come and make some lame movie. And I met the guy. He flew over, so I met him, at a cafe in the village. I met him to say no, politely. And I said, "Well, why me? Why do you want to make a movie about me? I'm not a rock star. I'm not a famous guy." And he said, "You never gave up. You're doing your best work now. And with New York City as a background, it's going to be interesting and it's inspiring." We spoke for 2 hours, and I thought, And then we met again. And I thought, you know what? This guy's pretty smart. Let's try it. So we've been working on and off for a few years, and they're going to start editing in October. I'm pretty excited about it. Could be good. I hope it is,
Yeah, for sure. That's awesome. Again, Willie Nile's with us. We're talking about his new album, The Great Yellow Light. And I read also, this is a thing I guess a lot of bands are kind of dabbling in nowadays, but you've got the Willie Nile Caribbean Adventure. Can you talk a little bit about that? How was that experience for you, being out on the open water?
So I've never done a cruise before. It's just not a world I've been a part of. So we got invited to do this cruise down to Mexico, the Caribbean. And I've been so busy. I was working on the album, and I didn't pay attention until 2 days before that we left. And we flew down to Florida. We got in this boat, like 5 days, something like that. And it was so much fun. And it was our own little group. And there's lots of cruises with lots of bands on them, but this was just our band. And it was a huge boat with other things going on. But we gave a few concerts, meet and greets. All the people ate together. It was really, my band is very sociable, as am I. It was so much fun. We've got 2 cruises scheduled for next year. We're doing this Rock Legends cruise in February, and we're doing next June, right now, next year, we're doing a summer solstice cruise from Vancouver to Alaska and back. And I'm told that it's one of the great cruises. It doesn't go way out to sea. And you see like orcas, all kinds of whales, and all this nature. And there's great stops, like the best salmon you'll ever eat. I'm looking forward to it. So coming from a place of never having been to sea, I loved it. It was mystical. It was interesting. We had a ball. And because my band's so easy to get along with, the fans that came out, we had a blast. If anybody wants to find out about it, go to willienile.com and you can see a little bit about it. But yeah, it was so much fun, Dustin. I mean, who knew? I had no idea. I'm looking on the deck. I'm looking for Moby Dick at like midnight. I'm hanging over the deck and I'm looking, where's Moby Dick? I didn't see him, but it was fun looking for him. Yeah, it was great fun. I'd advise it.
Yeah, it is interesting. That really seems to be kind of a new avenue for, I mean, all sorts of bands. I know you've got like the Kiss Cruise and New Kids on the Block, all the heavy metal guys. Everybody seems like they're getting on a boat these days.
Yeah, it seems like that. There's lots of cruises. There's an underground garage cruise, and I mean, we did one, and it was really fun. And we've got 2 next year scheduled, and very well could be a third. And it's fun. People come out. You've got people that love rock and roll or love music, and it's relaxing. You can be a part of the party, or you can go find a quiet place on the boat yourself. It's a pretty mystical experience. I loved it. I'm looking forward to next year, both of those cruises. Yeah.
Well, it looks like you've got a handful of shows coming up yet this summer. Do you take the whole band out with you, or what is a Willie Nile show like these days?
Well, usually my band is with me. We have I've got it's 2 guitars, bass, and drums. Jimmy Bones on guitar, Johnny Paisano on bass, and John Weber on drums, and they're a great band. Springsteen's joined us numerous times on stage. We have a great time. They're feel-good shows. I always say that if you don't have a great time at one of our shows, I don't mean a good time. I mean a great time. I'll give you your money back. It's so much fun, and nobody phones it in. We play like our life depends on every single song. So they're feel-good shows. They're upbeat. Life is hard for everybody. You can be a plumber, whatever, a glass worker, a comedian, whatever you could be. Life is hard for everybody, and music can be a nice escape. Come out for a little bit of ecstasy, a little bit of music. I don't mean ecstasy, the drug. I mean, I've talked with Springsteen about that a few times. That people come out for the ecstasy, for the joy and the thrill and the excitement of hearing music. So my shows I'm proud of them. We have a good time, and so do the people that come out to see us.
Awesome. Could we see any more dates later this year, or maybe a Minnesota date sometime down the road?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I just came back I did shows last week in Ann Arbor, Valparaiso, and Chicago. I went out. There were duo shows, my bass player and I. We had a great time. And I'm so busy with this new album, and we got a big show tomorrow night. I just had 2 shows over the weekend. Tomorrow night we've got our album release show here in New York City, near Times Square at Sony Hall, and I love playing. So there'll be more shows. There's a bunch of shows booked. There's going to be more. I mean, I'm not going anywhere. I'm still in the plan, and knock on wood, I'm healthy enough to do it. I mean, the shows are probably better now than they ever were. I think just because the band is so strong, and I'm having so much fun, and I'm still learning. I still feel like I'm learning on stage and in the studio. Feels good. Awesome,
man. Well, again, the Great Yellow Light just out here. Is there anything else maybe coming up, or anything else we should be watching out for?
Well, the Great Yellow Light just literally came out on the other day, and there'll be shows. There's cruises coming up. There's a new video coming out. One of the songs on the album is called "We Are, We Are." We made a video for it, which came out great. There'll be videos. If people go to willienile.com, you can see them. We're on social media, and you can hear the music anywhere, streaming sites. We have a good profile out there. But as far as things to look for, just look for, being good to your neighbor, being good to yourself. Life is brief. Make the most of it, and, enjoy some good music now and then. Live music is always, I love live music. I love playing. I love going to see it. So I think, the documentary won't be done till, sometime next year. So that's a little ways away. But, I'm hoping to get back to the Midwest, either before the year's out or early next year. But so, yeah, I'm not going anywhere. I'm still rocking and rolling. If I drop, I drop. But I'm still here. And so I'm partying away, having a great time doing it.
Excellent. Willie, it's been great speaking with you again. Thank you so much for your time. I'm digging the new album here, and hopefully I can see you come through Minnesota here soon.
Thank you so much for taking the time, Dustin. It's much appreciated. And if we come through town, when we come through town, reach out, let me know, and I'd love to see you. And yeah, our shows are really fun, man. This is one of the best rock and roll bands going. That's how good the band is. It's fun and rocking. So I hope to see you on the trail, my friend. And again, heartfelt thanks for taking the time.
And again, that was Willie Nile. His latest album, The Great Yellow Light, is out now.